So let's now start motorcycle travel on a different continent. On this live stream we're gonna discuss this, and when the different continent requires shipping. So because Asia and Europe are different continents, but you can use the same motorcycle to go on the road from continent to continent. But when you have something like United States or North America or South America, Australia, New Zealand or different places, you have to ship your motorcycle. So now we are talking about different continent that requires shipping. So what is the best way to do it? I will split this stream on two different parts. First will be how to get there, and the second, what you have to have in mind when you finally arrive on this continent. So two different parts. First will be how to get there, and second, what to do when you finally arrive there. To travel on a different continent is a dream for many, but only a few will do it because of two very obvious reasons: time and money. These are the most obvious the most obvious reasons that stop so many people of traveling to different continents. Because first, it will require a lot of time, and if you work in a big company, for example, and you have 20 days or 1 month holiday per year, it is not really possible to travel on a different continent unless you plan to be very fast and to do short trip on a specific country, for example, and then go back as quicker as possible. But usually, because it is an expensive journey, expensive trip, when people plan to ship their motorcycles, they usually want to have more time, because it is something that you're going to do it probably once in your life, and you want to do it properly. That's why the time is a big problem. Even if you have money, the time is a problem. Then people who has time, they haven't got money. You know the story. If you have money, the money that you have are the time that you don't have, and the time that you have is the money that you don't have. So this is some kind of like a paradox 22, but this is the reality. So the obvious reasons why people don't ship their motorcycles abroad to go to and ride to different continents are time and money. Let's now see what are the options to get there with your motorcycle. Number one is to ship your motorcycle. Number two is to rent a motorcycle there, and number three, to buy a motorcycle there. These are the three options to have motorcycle there if you want to visit a different continent. Let's see each one of these options with more details. First, to ship your motorcycle. As I said already, it requires a lot of time, travel time. The time that your motorcycle will travel, if it's with ship, it will take like 20 days from Europe to North or South America. Minimum 20 days. Then you're gonna have customs. You don't know how many days exactly will take. Actually, it's unpredictable. So the time, it's unpredictable. You might say 20 days, but it could be way more. This was one of the reasons why I was worried so much about my journey to South America, because of this time. Usually the shipping companies, before they get the money, they will promise everything. They will tell you, no, it's not a problem. The travel time will be 20 days. If you ship it on the 1st, on the 20th, you're going to have it in South America. But the reality, it's a little bit different. I spoke with a lot of people that ship their motorcycles, and each one of them said that they always delay. And one guy even need to wait it like 2 weeks before the motorcycle arrive. So let's have an example. If I plan to ship my motorcycle and fly there on the 1st, because I expect the motorcycle to come on the 1st, and need to wait 2 more weeks somewhere without motorcycle, without anything, already paid, then it's a big problem. It's a lot of money just to stay there. So the first obstacle is the time. Let's say that the time is not a problem for you. You can wait, and so on and so on. Second is money. The cheapest option that I have found from Europe to South America, I guess it will be the same to North America, was 2,500 euros round trip to ship my motorcycle and get it back. And this is a lot of money for me and for many people, I guess, because these are the money that you're not gonna get back. You give it and that's it. It's like flight tickets. By the way, I need to pay for my flight tickets as well on the site, so it will be altogether like 3,500 euros. And not only the price for the shipping, that will be 2,500 euros. But usually happens once you arrive there, once your motorcycle arrives there, the customs or the customs officers, especially in South America, they start to twisting your hands and asking for more money. And they can legalize it in any way. They can say these are the custom taxes, or because with delay you have to pay parking here and there. But this could be anything from $100 to $500 to $800. So basically, I have no idea, or all the people that ship their motorcycle, they said until the last moment we haven't got any idea how much it will cost us. So this is something like a unpredictable situation. First is the time, then is the money. Time and money are big problem in this situation. Then there is a weather. So if the weather is bad, again the motorcycle will delay, and not only will delay but also might come with a little rust here and there because it's still shipping. After that, you have to have in mind that if you finally get your motorcycle there and start to riding with it, you should know that it will have a lot of kilometers and it will require maintenance. So all of this need to have it in mind. You will need a foreigner. You will be there with a foreigner number plate, which is not really good option because everyone will see you like a big wallet. They will want to take, not to steal your money, but you know, in these poor countries, especially South America, when people see foreigner motorcycle, they believe that this guy is a rich bored millionaire that traveling around the world and got a lot of money, and they all will want to have some tries to get money from him, to sell something or whatever. And these are the downsides that I'm discussing now. First, you have a lot of mileage if you want to go with your motorcycle. Then you have foreigner number plate, which will cost you more to travel with foreigner number plate. You might have possible breakdown problems if you travel with your motorcycle. So this is something that also need to be considered. If you have a breakdown in the middle of nowhere with your motorcycle that is shipped from Europe and you cannot find a proper spare parts, this might be a big problem. Next problem will be lack of spare parts. They are actually related because, for example, in some areas like Asia, parts are problem. You cannot even find a proper motorcycle oils. So they have oils. On every kilometer you will find some garage that sell oils, but they are normal car oils. So if you need a motorcycle oil with MA2 specifications for wet clutch or something like that, it is very difficult to find. And then tubes are also a problem. So if you need 21 or 18-inch tube, it's a problem. So you have to have all of this in mind. And in the end, it's the tires, tubes, oils, parts, everything is a problem when you travel in a different continent. If you are in a continent like Australia, New Zealand, these are more Western orientated places and you will find everything. But South America, Africa are a different story, and this is something that you have to have in mind if you plan to ship your motorcycle. Let's now see what will be if you rent a motorcycle there. Well, first, it is going to be very expensive. To rent a motorcycle, even in South America, will cost you like $50–60 per day. And if you plan 2–3 months trip, it will be a lot of money. And it is not always possible. And the big problem with renting is that you cannot cross any border with rented motorcycle. So renting is something that you can do or you can use only if you plan to travel locally. For example, now I plan to fly to Colombia and I can rent a motorcycle and ride it around Colombia, but I cannot cross any border. So if I want to see whole South America, I have to rent a different motorcycle in every country, which is basically impossible. That's why the rent is not really an option. And the third option that many used is to buy a motorcycle there. Once you arrive, you can buy a motorcycle, local motorcycle. But for it, you have to have enough money to pay for it. And in some of these countries, in South America, for example, but it's more or less the same story in Africa. If you want to buy a good quality motorcycle, it will be very expensive. If you want to buy a cheap motorcycle, then it will be unknown condition and you don't know how much it will last. Will it be possible to complete the trip with it or not? You basically don't know, but because you actually buying the motorcycle blind, you don't know what is the story of this motorcycle. And for this procedure, you will definitely need a local help, because it will be very difficult without local help to find a proper motorcycle, buy it, register it on your name, especially in countries that they don't speak any English, like many places in Africa and South America. So you will definitely need a local help, for someone to help you with all of these procedures. Even though everyone said that it's very easy to buy a motorcycle there and register it on your name, it is still requires a lot of procedures that, in my opinion, will be done much easier if you have a local help. And it will require also an extra time to buy this motorcycle and sell it after you finish with your trip. So all of this need to be taken in consideration when you decide what to do when you want to travel to different continents. So once again, let's just assume everything: to ship your motorcycle, to rent your motorcycle, and to buy. These are the three options that you can have if you want to travel to a different continent. There is another one: to borrow from a friend, but then you have to be lucky man like me. I'm sorry, I'm not joking with this, but sometimes these lucky situations happens. Like me now, a follower of mine promised to give me a motorcycle in South America, and this is just unbelievable help. Even though I wanted to pay for it, he refused to take any money, and everything that I can say to him, just thank you very much. It's just wonderful situation. I had the same situation in Australia, I had the same situation in New Zealand, in Pakistan, India, Bangladesh. So all of these people around the world gave me their motorcycles to travel. So this will be the perfect option for everyone if you only have someone to do it for you. So that's why number 4, I just said it on the site, but it's not really possible for everyone. So these are the first things how to get there with your motorcycle. Let's now discuss what you have to have in mind when you finally arrive on a different continent. Because you might say, Pavlen, it's the same, it's road, it's motorcycle, it's the same everywhere. No, it's not the same, it's different. Traffic is different. For example, in Asia, the traffic that we have here in Europe is nothing compared to the traffic in Asia. After I completed my trip to Pakistan, India, Nepal and Bangladesh, I said to myself that I will never ever complain again from traffic, because in Europe we don't know what is traffic. We have no idea what is traffic. We get mad when you need to wait 10 or 15 minutes on the traffic light. But over there, in these countries, especially in the big cities like Karachi, Delhi, Dhaka, Bangladesh, and Kathmandu, these are so populated places, so busy, that you just cannot believe what it is. It's not only the traffic, it's the mad traffic that people, cars, motorcycles, people going from all sides and no rules at all. So traffic is very, very different. Very different. Just to have an idea what it is, when I arrived in Karachi, I started riding on the 3rd day, and I was riding around the town, and you cannot even get the idea that I'm actually riding on the left side on the road. They have like a UK left side on the road. So the traffic is so busy. People are so many that you don't have any idea on which side of the road you have to ride. You have something. It's like the traffic is like ants. They never stop. They just move. They flew all the time. It's madness. So to say something like this, oh, it's easy, it's motorcycle, the same everywhere. No, it's not the same. It's different. If we take example, a busy traffic light, let's say in Munich, Germany, with 100 people with cars and motorcycles on this traffic light, and switch them to the most busy traffic light, let's say in Delhi, India. If we switch this 100 people like this, all Germans will crash on the same minute. Indians will be fine in Berlin or Munich, but Germans in Asia, disaster, because people over there, they riding and driving in these conditions for many years. They know how to protect themselves, what they have to do, how to do it, and so on and so on. But when you're not ready for this, it's a big shocking, it's like a cultural shock for the first few days. After that, everything is going very smoothly. And keep in mind that I'm coming from Bulgaria. And Bulgaria, for most of you, is considered like third world country. So we also don't have many rules here. But even so, it was difficult for me for the first few days to adapt to this traffic. So traffic is definitely different. Also, there are different rules and regulations. There are not so many because basically the traffic rules are more or less the same, but there are some differences that is good to know. And there is two options: to learn it by mistakes and to be charged for it, or someone to tell you, local guide, to explain you what you have to be careful when you ride there. For example, in Australia, you cannot ride early morning or later in the evening. Dawn and dusk, it's impossible. As you know, I ride early morning starts, like just during the sunsets, and start the days very early. But it's impossible in Australia because of kangaroos, not only kangaroos, wombats and everything that is jumping and walking and craving on the road. So you have to forget for early morning starts, and it is the same before dusk. So it's different. You have to know that. If you decided to cross these rules, you will definitely have an accident, because I have seen so many dead kangaroos on the road when I was in Australia. I don't know, dozens, maybe hundreds of kangaroos dead on the road, and wombats. So they are dead because someone hit them. And almost everyone who I spoke with in Australia, it doesn't matter, car driver or motorcycle rider, they hit a kangaroo at least once in their life. So they are everywhere. And without knowing this, you just cannot ride. A few times I have seen them jumping on the road, and I was able to slow down. I said, no, it's not a big deal. If you see them, you can slow, you can stop. But one of the days I was riding with a friend of mine with a 10 meters difference between us. It was lunchtime, not early morning, not later in the evening. Lunchtime, but we were riding in a small road, forest road, not twisting like this. Forest here, and we were riding with, let's say, 50 kilometers per hour. During lunchtime, not early morning, not later in the evening. And as I told you, I'm always believing that if you see a kangaroo, you'll be able to stop, chop the throttle and brake and stop and leave it to go. But we were riding together with a friend of mine, and suddenly a kangaroo jumped from the right, but it was so fast, it jumped like this. I cannot even chop the throttle. I just cannot even chop the throttle. Forget about reaction, press the brakes, travel time that you need to brake. It's just impossible. Then I realized how dangerous these animals are, and they're big and heavy. So if this kangaroo jumped just a second later, it will be just on me. That's it, end of the story. That's why I said some things need to be known. Another one example that I can tell you is from New Zealand. If you see, for example, police car on a siren on the road, siren and light on the road, you have to slow down and ride, even if you're on the opposite side of the road. Let's see, I'm riding here on the left side on the road, because in New Zealand they're driving on the left, and I can see in the far distance, let's say 2 or 4 or 500 meters, I can see a police car on the road, not on my line, on the opposite line, on siren and light. I have to slow down to 30 kilometers per hour when I was passing there. If you don't do it, the charge will be $180. That's what it is. So you should know these things, because in Europe, if you see police car on the other side of the road, you don't need to slow down even, but not in New Zealand. Also, the traffic rules and cameras and speed limits are very strict. One of the days I was riding with 80 kilometers per hour, crossing a small village with just a few houses. I did not even saw a sign 50 or something like that. And then on the opposite side was coming police car, and they saw me and they immediately put the light and they pull over. So I stopped over there, and the policeman came. He was very polite, said, good day. Do you have any specific reason to ride your motorcycle faster? I said, no, I did not know that I'm riding faster. He said, yeah, well, you're riding with 80 kilometers per hour. He showed me the camera immediately on his laptop. But you should be with 50, so it's 30 kilometers, it's a problem. I said, okay, I'm really sorry, I apologize. He said, it's all right, I understand, but unfortunately you have to be charged. And I said, okay, how much it is? And he said, oh, good question, I don't know. He turned on the computer again, press a few buttons, and $180. Okay, fair enough, $180 for 30 kilometers over the speed limit. So these are the things that you will know locally once you get there. So if you think that you will ride the same way that you ride in your country, it's not going to happen. If you're coming from a very strict country like, let's say, Germany or United States or UK, you will know this stuff already. But if you're coming like me from East Europe, when, man, it's not like this. It's not that bad here in my country. Yeah, you'll be charged here and there, but it's still not that bad. So many differences. And the new things that I learned now about Colombia, for example, that's why I always said you need plan, you need to prepare yourself, you need to find as more as possible information in advance, because all of this information is important. For Colombia now, for example, it's not possible to ride with passenger. It's forbidden, because they have a lot of crime, and usually people that are two people on a motorcycle, they with pistols and try to rob someone. So it's impossible to ride with passenger in Colombia. Also, you cannot go with helmet on the petrol station. This is something that I always do. Just fill my motorcycle, do not even remove my helmet, go to the petrol station to pay, but you cannot do it in Colombia. If you do it, you'll be arrested, because you might be dangerous guy with a pistol that's going to rob the petrol station. And also, you cannot ride motorcycle during the night. These are the rules, and these are the things that are very different from our world, and things that you have to know in advance. And also, another one thing that not many people think about it until they start riding over there, it's when you need to ride on a different side of the road. Like I already said, Asia, UK, Australia, New Zealand, and a few more countries like Japan, and a few more countries around the world. In Africa also, in many places. So at the beginning, everyone say, it's all right, I'll be all right, not a problem for me. Yeah, most of the time it's not a problem, but it's very easy to distract yourself and get the wrong direction, because your body, your muscles, and your muscle memory already know how to ride on the right side on the road. But when you switch to the left, you control it until you, as I said, got distracted from something, and then it's a big problem. The most difficult part for me was when I'm on a petrol station, for example, fill my petrol, taking the telephone, talking on the telephone, eat something, which is mean I got distracted from the road. And then when I'm leaving the petrol station, I was always taking the right, which is what I do in my country, taking right and go with the traffic. But in UK, you have to go left. So this was one of the things that got me unprepared in the beginning. The next one was when I need to make a U-turn on the road, I always, because my muscle memory said to me, I always going to the right and then try to make U-turn on the left. But in UK, you have to make on the other side. That's why on all of my trips around Asia, UK, and all of these countries that have a left side on the road, I always had a red arrow with the red stripes on my dashboard, on my windscreen actually, to point me on the left. This idea was given to me from Sasha from Australia. He said that he did this for one of his cousins, and it works very well. And believe it or not, this arrow was helping me at least 20 times per day to not get distracted. Because even on the main road, without anyone, let's say 2 lanes, I'm riding on these 2 lanes and thinking about my things. And without even knowing, I'm going into the right lane, automatically. And then when I see the arrow, I say, oh shit, and I then go back to the left. So this is very destructive. Before I go there, I thought that the most difficult is going to be on the roundabouts. But then I realized that the most difficult part is just to get on focus. Roundabouts are not a problem. You just go on the other side, everything is clear. But to get focus on exactly where you need to ride all the time, it's a problem. Also, when you have a traffic with you, you just follow the traffic and everything is all right. But when you don't have any traffic and you go to a little bit not ordinary junction, not like this, not crossroad, let's say with few more different angles and streets, then I need a few seconds to know where exactly you need to go. It's a little bit confusing, but all of this need to be in mind when you plan to travel. So give yourself more time, or if you have the chance, make some practice. If you have this chance, usually people from UK doing well when they come here, but they travel for many years and do it like that. But for someone who never been on the left side on the road, might be a problem at the moment. All right. Also, when you travel to a different continent far away from your place, this means that people will have different religion and different mindsets. These are also things that you have to have in mind, especially with Muslim countries. The things are not like in our home. And many things might be shocking for you, might be surprising for you, or might be like absolutely not possible to understand them. But this is the situation. This is not your country. You don't need to judge them. You don't need to try to teach them or to correct them. just leave everything as it is, because you're guests. You're not there to solve the problems of the country. Another thing that you have to have in mind if you go to Asia, for example, or South America. I haven't been to South America, but I can tell you what is in Asia. People don't have this sense of personal space. In our Western world, or even in my East European world, we have this sensation of personal space. When I talk with someone, I never go so close. And if you talk with people, you always have some kind of distance, personal space. But not in Asia, because there are so many, they never think about it. So you will find yourself sitting on your motorcycle, stop, let's say, in front of a shop, and there will be 20 people around you, but not on that distance. They will be next to you, sitting on your motorcycle, touching everything. The worst that I hate the most is when I leave my helmet on the motorcycle, someone to grab it and put it on his head on 40 degrees. Can you imagine what it is? Or someone to sit on your motorcycle. So I learned my lesson very fast, and if I have to stop, there are always so many people around you, they won't always want to jump on the motorcycle and stuff like that. Okay, that's why I always try to park it on a safe place, so if someone sit on it, at least not to damage it. But always take my helmet with me, because as soon you leave it, someone will grab it, and that's it. Then it will be a smelly helmet. Okay. Then we're gonna have different roads. As I said, everything is different, guys. It's not like what you have seen before. In many places like Asia, even east part of Russia, and even in South America, the roads are not what we used to ride here in Europe. So they're completely different, and you have to have this in mind. And you have to have this in mind before you even decided to ship your motorcycle there, because if it's not a proper model for very bad roads, you might have a big problem with it. So the next thing that you have to have in mind is the food. The food, it's different. Everything is different. I told you, they cook, especially in Asia, they cook the food with cotton oil or some other flax oils or whatever oil they use. I don't know what kind of oils even they use, but all of these oils are not really, they don't going very well with our stomachs. So you will definitely have a diarrhea. Over there it's not will I have it, over there the question is when I'm gonna have it. So definitely the food is different. Also in India and Pakistan, the food is very spicy, so it's not something that we eat every single day. In Morocco, for example, even the tea got some kind of herbs inside that smell different than the tea that you can have here. And it might be interesting, but some people don't like it. I, for example, I did not like at all Moroccan tea. I just don't like it. It's something that I cannot get it. Another one example that I can tell you, in UK, Australia, New Zealand, everywhere, when I wanted to eat a good fish, the fish was always deeply fried. They said, oh, you have to go to this place or that place, you will eat the best fish on the continent, on the road, or on this town. So I went to so many different restaurants that were recommended to me, and in all of these places I have eaten deeply fried fish. And I cannot even recognize the original taste. And when they ask me, oh, how is the fish? I said, oh, it's all right, but I know that if you deeply fried any fish, they all taste the same. So in my understanding, if you want to eat a good fish here in Europe or in Turkey or in Bulgaria, it will be grilled, nice, and you will feel the taste. But with deeply fried fish or all of this fish and chips, man, oh, I'm from Bulgaria, so it's not good for me. Anyway, the last point that I would like to discuss is about medications. You have to have all the medications that you require or you need if you have any health problems, and to have it with you. But you need to have in mind that local medicine always works best. For example, if you have diarrhea, the pill that you might have with you from your country won't work that well as the local pills. It's not only about the diarrhea. Almost every pill locally work much better, especially when you start eating their food. So another one thing that you have to have in mind is repellents for mosquitoes. All the repellents that I brought from Europe did not work at all in Siberia. They were like perfume for the mosquitoes. But when I used a local small liquids. I don't know what is even the name of it. It was like a brown color. If you put just a little bit here and here, you don't have any mosquitoes for 2 hours. As I said, European brands were like perfume, Russian, perfect for 2 hours. So all of this is very different from country to country, and from continent to continent the difference is even big. So you have to have all of this in mind. Okay guys, that was everything that I wanted to say on this topic. If you have any questions now, or if you want to add more information, please do it so. As I said, this information will be beneficial for many people that will watch this stream after that. So Jetro, I can see that you wrote here the clutch let me down 60,000, but that was the due of power replacement of the dealer. Okay, 60,000, it's fair enough mileage, not exactly the proper, but let's say it's fair enough. Richard, do not let the challenges travel put you off. The rewards are worth it. Yeah, absolutely. Even though I told you so many different obstacles here, I still believe that when you travel to a different continent, you'll get the most of every trip, because you will be to so many completely different places that you won't be able to see in your normal life. As many clever people said, once you get out of your comfort zone, then you start really living. So don't let all of these obstacles to let you cancel your trip, or to stop it, or never go. So this is something like, even though it's difficult, I'll do it with pleasure now to South America, and I will do it with pleasure for Asia every time when I have this chance again. Thank you very much for coming, Jetro. Thank you very much. Camping or hotels, often cheaper out of European countries. Why camp? Well, depends on the countries. In Asia, even now in South America, in Asia I brought my tent and I use it 2-3 times because I have the tent. If I need to go to Asia again, and I will go there again, I will never take a tent with me. Now to South America, I'm not gonna bring my tent. I'm not gonna bring it. So the prices of hotels over there are affordable, and tent is not an option for me. But some people might love it, but I don't know. It's just not something that I will enjoy when I have to cover so many kilometers, when I plan to see so many different things. The tent will only slow me down. We can have another stream on this topic and discuss it with more details. I love your statement, the best bike of travel, this is the one that you have in your garage. Absolutely, Jeto, this is the situation. The best bike is the one that you have in the garage, because the dream bikes are usually dream bikes. They stay somewhere on a far distance. So let's say I'm gonna get it after 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, or I'll start traveling when I get retired. But the best moment is now, when you still have time, possibilities, when you have a motorcycle in the garage, just grab it and go and ride it. If I was waiting for my best time to start traveling, I still haven't got the best time. So my life will be gone before I found the best time to travel. So it's, if you understand what I mean. Don't wait too long. Yeah, absolutely, Richard. As we have said before, true words of different land and go a long way. Yeah, absolutely. Different land is, even though you might have adventure even at home, but when you go to so far away place, you feel completely different, because you know you have to get tight, you have to do everything that it's possible to be done. You cannot rely on anyone, you have to believe only on yourself, your technique, your machine. It's different feeling, completely different. I just wrote a KTM 920 and it also it's 2000 model, but 336,000 kilometers. 990 Adventure, it's very well known with its problems. I don't think that you have to jump on it. If you really like it, go and buy it. But if you plan to travel, even in Africa only, I think that you should go for something more simple. Also, keep in mind that the difference between your Duke and this KTM 990 will be at least 50-60 kilograms, and you will feel it so badly. Not only the kilograms, it will be a lot of power, 110 horsepower compared to the 30 that you have now at the moment. This will be too heavy motorcycle, and unfortunately too fragile. And this 36,000 kilometers, 36 or 3,006, I cannot see it because here I have a big let me see it, 36,000 kilometers. They might be nothing, but also they might be a lot. Depends on that, how the previous owner used this motorcycle. And usually when people sell a motorcycle on such a low mileage, they don't ride it, which is best option, or they just don't like to ride it because they have some kind of problems. I don't know. My my advice, don't. But if you really like it, nothing I can do about it. Go for something more simple. In my opinion, if you have this 390 Duke, go to something like 600 or 700 cc, a little bit more off-road orientated, and you'll be perfectly alright. Don't jump to such a monster like 990 Adventure, because first, it is not for everyone. It is a wonderful motorcycle to ride. It has a good suspension, but it has a problem with reliability, and I don't know. Place most looking for what in South America? Honestly, Brazil, Richard, Brazil. I know that everyone says Patagonia is beautiful, Patagonia or Chile or Peru or whatever. I definitely want to see these places. I'll see it definitely. I also want to see Patagonia. I also want to see all of these high peaks and high elevation peaks, no doubt. But these are the places that everyone goes. And because I couldn't find a lot of information or almost no information about Brazil, and everyone said that don't go there, that's why the place that I look forward the most is Brazil. Colombia, Venezuela, Brazil the mostly. So far, the biggest or the large number of contacts that I have so far, because many people wrote me emails to provide, to offer their help or support during my trip to South America, the largest number of supporters is from Brazil. So I really hope that this will give me the chance to make a really nice loop around the country, not everywhere of course, because it's a huge country, but at least to feel it and to have something to tell you guys, because as I said, no information so far from Brazil. There are a few videos here and there, but they're usually on Portuguese from local riders, and I cannot get any idea what is to write in Brazil. And I don't know any of my friends or followers or close friends that have been to Brazil with a motorcycle to explain me what it is. That's why I look forward to it, and I hope that I'll be able to have enough footage provided as information on my channel. Of course, after Brazil, straight on to Patagonia, see the most beautiful places around the world. All of these hills in Argentina, all of these high mountains passes, 4,000-5,000 meters elevation. I love this stuff, and slowly go back. But Brazil is the cherry, if you understand what I mean. Jetro, thanks for advice. Anytime, I hope that you will listen. Usually people don't listen, Jetro, but I hope you will listen. Have you been to high altitude before? Yes, Richard, I have been. I have been to 4,600 meters in Agbaital Pass in Tajikistan. I've been many times to 3,000 meters, and in North India a few years ago in 2018, I went to 5,600 meters. This was the high elevation motorable road on the road in India, Kardunla Pass. So the highest elevation peak that I ever been was 5,600 meters. I have an idea what it is. I know how to acclimatize myself, because the first time when I went to Asia, I made a mistake and I went from 2,000 meters to 4,000 meters very fast for a few hours, and it was really bad experience that I had over there. But on my way to Kardunla Pass in India, I did it very slowly. I spent like a week to acclimatize myself, and finally when I reached Kardunla, I was able to make like 10 push-ups. Was perfectly fine. I can feel it. I can feel myself breathing very hard, but I was alright and I have no problem. So I look forward to this altitude in South America, but now I know how to do it. Now I know how to acclimatize myself. Maybe we can make a stream one day about high altitude. I think I made one, but I can make it again. I have a few videos on this topic, but we can make a stream on this topic to discuss a little bit more details. Yeah, that was height. 5,600 was height, but I felt much better than 4,600. Like 1,000 meters more, but I felt much better because I gave myself enough time to acclimatize. How the bike handle on high altitude? Definitely feel it. On Agbaital Pass, I was with my old Tenere. It is injection, but even so, you feel it very badly because there is no air. Even if you have injection system, the injections will try to mix it and to provide enough mixture for your motorcycle to work, but it's definitely not the same. You feel it, But in India, I went with carburetor. It was Royal Enfield carburetor, and when I reached 3,000 meters, I stopped to adjust the air intake and to adjust the mixture between air and petrol. And I need to stop every day to adjust it, because I was going slowly from 3,000, 3,500, 4,000, 4,500. And I need to adjust it every single day. And finally, the last 500 meters were very hard. Even that I adjusted everything, I cannot make any more than first and second gear. The rest just doesn't work. So motorcycle definitely feel it. And you as well. Some people feel it even on 2,000 meters. I feel it more seriously after 3,000 meters. And after 4, you definitely feel it. You start to breathe more often. You can feel even your heart pumping, like boom, 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 boom. And you have a light dizziness. But once again, if you give yourself enough time to acclimatize, it's not so bad, and you can go with it. Always keep in mind that when you reach such a long altitudes, you cannot really spend the night there. So you have to go there and go down and sleep on a lower place. But anyway, this is a topic for another stream, as I said. So I look forward to see all of these high elevation mountains in Patagonia, in Chile, Argentina, Peru as well. So many interesting things. I'm making my plans now. I have these big maps, as you know, and now I'm drawing on the maps, trying to collect a lot of information. Thanks to all of these followers that send me an email. Now we have communication in WhatsApp, and every day send me different locations and places that were to be seen in Brazil, in Argentina, Peru, Chile, Ecuador, Paraguay, Uruguay, everywhere. So all of this is like a wonderful information that I got from these guys, and I'm working on my journey. It's just fantastic. On my second channel, Motorcycle Adventures Live, that I use to upload my travel videos, now on Thursday I will start a series about the preparation for South America. The first episode on Thursday is going to be about the luggage. Over there I will tell you what kind of luggage I'm gonna have, what I will take with me. I already told that I'm not gonna take my tent, and so on and so on. Then will be about maps, routes, and all the preparation process that we usually do. But because the second channel is only for travel videos, I don't want to make these preparation videos now in the main channel, so they will stay there. And once I start traveling, there will be travel videos on this channel. So I hope that this will be interesting for some people. Jetro, when you come to Africa, fly South Africa, so many bike dealers, you will struggle for many parts accessories here. I have a friend in Tanzania, Bulgarian guy, who I actually supposed to go this year in Tanzania, but because Tanzania and South America in the same year, it would have been too much for me, and I canceled Tanzania trip, and I will do it next probably December, not December that is coming now, next year December. So I will fly definitely to Tanzania. My friend will help me to buy a motorcycle on affordable price and affordable quality motorcycle, and from Tanzania we'll see where and how long I can travel around Africa. So this is far away now, but this is what I have in mind now. So it will be November or December, next November and December, when I plan to go to Africa. Yeah, I know that in South Africa there will be more dealers, but as I said, I'll go to Tanzania. We'll see my friend, we'll talk about it. He's Bulgarian. We'll have enough time to see, to explore the places, to get used to everything, to find motorcycle and everything, and it will be easy for me. Yes, Richard, I think I covered out. It's always something to add, but you know, that's why I always have this script, at least to be structured and to have more visible connection with everything that I plan to say, because when you start talking just like that, you usually forgot the most important things. Anyways, thank you very much, Richard. Thank you very much, Jetro. Really sorry, only 2 people, but even for 1 person or 2, I always make these streams, because guys, you support my channel for so many years, and I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Rental is also very expensive, as you mentioned. Yes, I know that. I spoke with my friend. And, yeah, thank you very much, guys, for support the channel. Thank you very much for coming tonight. I wish you all the best, and see you next Sunday. Ciao.